That's so funny. All right, you guys see my screen there? Yeah, true. Moving with family, like it's just me and my wife, so I can't even imagine with kids and stuff. That's even more mental. Damn, 3 kids moving that much. That's crazy. Well, I hope you guys are settled in now wherever you're at. Get some kids then. Soon enough. Soon enough. Alright, you guys see my screen? Just let me know. Considering my voice didn't work, let's make sure the screen works. Alright, sweet. Alright, so today, for the last while, like honestly, for the last like 2 years basically, I've been like teaching you guys how to use the indicator, how to like trade around it, how to trade around the bots, the levels, the divergences, all of that. So I want to show you like some practical uses of me actually taking trades this past week. Honestly, I'd say the past 2 weeks, like the market overall has just been super choppy. Like it's been all right considering, we've kind of been in an uptrend here. If you look at like the 4 hour, like, not necessarily an uptrend, right? It's overall, you can kind of see it's basically just a range, if anything, slight deviation above and below. But like, we've been trending up now for, what is this? Like since the 1st of July, since the month opened, like we had this sell off into here. We had a very nice sweep. You could pull the range down to like this type deal. And, we reclaimed the range and now we've sent towards range highs and we actually are consolidating quite nicely. But it's like after moves like this, it's the same thing I explained last stream, right? It's like we had this move down in the middle of January, just a nasty, nasty sell-off. And then this range right here was just terrible to trade, right? Like this, it's just super choppy. It's difficult. It requires a lot of patience. You have to be very selective with the trades you're taking. And we're kind of in the same thing, right? We had the move up. We had like the deviation from this range here and then just the nasty sell-off. And now we're kind of forming another range here, right? Most people, like smart people who are really been around for multiple cycles, it makes sense kind of what they're anticipating. We're kind of at that range low here. And, we most likely don't just get a reversal and a move up. We might, but like it is summer, and in the summer, a lot of big trading desks, the big money and stuff take time off. Things become normally choppy, even without us being in a range previously. And so now, we probably do find some sort of range here, whether, we take the highs or whatever, but we probably range here for a bit, maybe one more swipe of the lows, who knows, before maybe into like Q3, end of Q3, Q4, we actually start to see, the eventual kind of breakout of this, whatever this might be, right? Like we eventually get on the higher time frames into like September, October, we actually start to see kind of like, a break of the high time frame structure on things. So, it is a choppy period and it needs to be treated as such. Like when you look at the weekly, for instance, right? Like we are at or had oversold weekly, but now we have the divergence. Now, like the divergences on weekly are very, very strong for marking out tops, bottoms, right? Like we had multiple drives for the top. I don't know why it's not showing here, but like even 2-week divergences, right? Like you can clearly see it about paints the most clear picture, right? 2-week divergence led to a top, 2-week divergence led to a bottom, 3 drives here led to a top, and now we have 3 drives here. But in between these, right, it takes months for, the plays to actually play out. There's a bit of consolidation. Like these are each 2-week candles, so it's multiple months. We're probably in that phase right now. And so, planning for the future and planning for the higher time frames, it's a good spot to be expecting maybe a sweep lower before higher and or just some consolidation. But, after these big moves, especially in the market, like we've sold off from 125 all the way down into like 55, right? Like that's a huge sell off on the high time frames, but it's also a good spot to be expecting, right? That over time we're going to see a reversal. But it's just all about understanding kind of like the market dynamic that we're in and not trading against that. Like you can expect for this to be a choppy period, which we're seeing. And so you need to trade accordingly, right? And so basically all this is just to say, like, I'm going to show you guys like a few of the trades that I've taken, and I've probably taken, honestly, in the last 2 weeks, I've probably taken maybe 7 trades. 2 of those that I've just probably closed early because I wasn't interested in them. And then a few of those, which I'm going to show you today, which actually played out at like the actual kind of maximum opportunity places, being kind of like range highs area, range lows area, and just avoided everything in the middle because it's just not worth the time, right? It's not worth trying to trade every single day. And it's all about just expectations and emotions in terms of like understanding that it's not worth doing that depending on the actual position of the market, right? Like what I see right now is that, we are breaking above the 4-hour 50 mark on the RSI. We haven't actually had that. We did have a little break, and then, we got the rejection around range highs, but we haven't had it be above the 50 mark since, what is this? The middle of May, right? We're coming up on like the middle of July. That's almost 2 months. So all this to say too is this does look pretty strong here. If you do just look at like, mid-range here, retest after range highs. Like if we do sweep this high here, kind of consolidate here, we can see the market actually have a pretty nice rally, right? Maybe only up to like if you look at the Woodsbot levels, we have confluence zones around like 72. Like we could see if we reclaim this previous range low, and you can see how beautifully, first of all, the confluence zones give you range low and range high of the previous range. If we reclaim this range high here, previous range low, current range high, we could see a move to fill this inefficiency here towards this. Now, I don't know if that happens, but, just looking at the actual technical indicators, it is a possibility. But it's a range until proven otherwise, so you treat it as a range, right? The confluence zones paint the clearest picture you could possibly ask for that range. This was that previous range I spoke about, range highs, the range lows, and then this is the new range low here that we're currently, operating in, and we're at range highs. So it warrants caution on, longs until we do flip this, but the market overall does look good. And all this is just to say that like it makes for a very choppy, kind of confusing market to navigate. So I'm going to show you guys basically a few of the trades that I've taken. And again, this is all just to say that like, I've probably only taken 6 or 7 trades over 2 weeks. And that is all you need to take, right? Like I started my first 100K funded account probably 3 weeks ago or something. Luckily, I got it, started right around here. So I was able to ride some really nice trades. But it's not to say that I didn't just get lucky, right? I used all the Woodsbot confluences and indicators that me, Woods, Dow, Gattel, everybody shows you guys to actually execute those trades. And I'm going to show you that today. So I'll just leave it there. If anyone has any questions or comments on kind of like the current market, where we're at, the conditions, the ranges we're in, anything like that, just let me know. Or how I'm looking at it, how I'm like, figuring out the range, all of that. Yeah, appreciate it, Vlad. Thank you. It was a challenge to myself because honestly, it's like I had a funded, I don't even know, 6 months ago that I didn't take very seriously. It was just a small one. Breached it pretty quickly, and it's like this was the first one that I actually took seriously, kind of planned out and stuff. And so, yeah, it was good. It was good to pass, especially to show myself I could do it in these conditions. And all I used, which is all I do use in my day-to-day trading, is the Woodsbot indicator and the stuff I teach you guys. So it's like, I'm not pushing snake oil. I'm pushing exactly how I trade for you guys, because that is exactly how I trade consistently every single day. It's how I read the market on high time frames. It's how I execute those 15, 30-minute divs into the levels, which I'll show you guys. It's all exactly what I tell you guys is exactly how I trade. So all right, let's break it down into the other Bitcoin chart here. How long did it take you to pass? It took about 2.5 weeks. about 2.5 weeks to pass. I think it was a total of between 8 and 10 trades, and the last trade consisting of about like 50% of the actual profits towards what I needed to pass. And I'll go through that. It was the hype trade here that I tied in with a ton of high time frame confluences, even things I shared in Woodsbot that, like, you know, if we were going to bottom out here, this was the range sweep, and that, you know, we pushed to range highs, and I executed on that based on the Woodsbot indicators, looking at the indexes like Bitcoin, USDT, and then trading the strongest coin in the market, which was hype. So I'll cover all that for you guys. So yeah, let's just start with hype, actually, because it's the actual trade more so at the lows. And if we look at, let's just go like chart ideas. Let me just find it. Yeah, so this is where I was calling for, actually it might be back a bit more. Yeah, here we go. So this is more so, if I go to the one, might be a little bit more back, but I was calling for this range to form on Bitcoin. Yes, here it is. So we had these 3 lows, and I was saying, you know, this is the range, which I was just showing you guys with the confluence zones, right? That we were forming out this range here on Bitcoin. Now, if we look at the Bitcoin chart, you can see that was in this area here, right? We had these 3 lows, and this was kind of the range that I was speaking of right here. And it was this range low sweep here. And you can see what it looks like on the Discord when I was saying it, right? So we had like these highs here, and then we came to range lows. We got that sweep here through it all, and we had a very, very nice reclaim. Like, look at this H4, right? Like, or sorry, this 1 hour. We had combo divs down here between all of this. Like, if you look at the 4 hour, we had combo divergences across Bitcoin. USDT was opposite, which was up here. Total had divergences as well. So we had like combo divs. We had a very beautiful sweep of the range low of Bitcoin, which I was forecasting for, right? And again, all just using the Woodsbot indicator levels. Yo, what's going on, Tails? And so this was where I had started my funded up about here, and I had taken a trade on hype. If we go to hype, so I had taken hype into the touch of this confluence zone here. I entered here. So if we look, we had, like, it was an over-exaggerated sell-off, and so I was comfortable longing here, and I just market entered, and this is on the funded account. And then we pushed up, and we actually swept again on the market. And so if we look at market here, right, like we had pushed up and then actually come down and swept the market again, but I was comfortable and added to my hype position because this exact thing that I had forecasted was playing out. So if we look, I said earlier that this was a high time frame range, and we probably get some sort of sweep of these lows and then a reclaim. We ended up getting that exactly as I showed you guys here with a beautiful reaction, right? Like, this is an insanely strong candle off that. That's a very easy candle if this closes within that 6 minutes, which whatever it did, to take almost any trade on the market and put your invalidation below there, right? If this candle retraces and whatever long you ended up taking actually goes back below, like, we're cooked and we're going much lower. So this gave you very, very clear invalidations using the Woodsbot levels, mapping out a range to say that we just swept range lows. We had combo divergences on the 4 hour on Bitcoin, bearish divergence on USDT, bullish divergence on total and the other indexes to take this as a trade. And so I was confident when this happened on my hype position that when we swept here, I added more on my breakout account. The invalidation was very clear. If we lost this confluence level, right, on an H4 close before it even got to my stop, I would just close out the position for probably like a 1% loss on it. But I was confident in holding it due to those factors that I'm saying. And if you look at USDT, again, this is where USDT was, right? These same 3 wicks, And I know Dal and Woods have been showing you guys USDT, and I really hope you're utilizing it because it's extremely useful. These were the 3 wicks on USDT, and you can see the corresponding 3 wicks on Bitcoin, right? Like, these charts work inversely, and so you can use them in correlation very effectively. Now we came back up, we put in a 4-hour divergence into, again, this confluence zone, and that was the same point here, that we did it on Bitcoin, right? That point there was this point here on Bitcoin. So looking at these indexes with the high time frame Woodsbot levels gave me the confidence to take that trade on hype. And I had this position on Lev. I also had it on my funded account, but I added on my funded account on this sweep as well. And then honestly, to pass my funded, I didn't pass it till we came to about here. And this was like the longest trade of my life because we were chopping at range lows and stuff. So what is this? This is like the 25th of June, and I held it till like the 3rd of July. So it was like a full week plus. And I'm not gonna lie, like this chop here with us continuing to like hold this but almost lose it was painstaking. And the funny thing is, my funded account was about, it was a 100K funded account. It was about 300 or 400 away from passing on this rejection here. And we rejected and we came all the way back down here, and I was like, did I fuck up and like just not close? And now like if we retrace this, it takes 12% to pass the funded. I was $300 away. So on 100K funded, that means it's $12,000 to pass it. And I was 300 away, 0.3%. And if I didn't close here and it retraced this and I had to stay in it for another 2-3 days, I was like, I am a fucking idiot if this retraces, and I just lost the chance. But I followed the Woodsbot levels. I continued to hold. We held the confluence zone here, and then we got the push above, and I passed here finally. But I'm not going to lie, this hold in all of this, even trusting the Woodsbot levels, like you can see, you know, we never closed below this H4. We did right here for 2, but like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those 2 closed below 9, and then a 10th touch. Like trusting this in here was like the longest week of my life, man. Just thinking that I fucked it up by $300 here, but ended up passing it. And again, just trusting the Woodsbot levels, trusting my market analysis with the high time frame confluence zones, ended up playing out beautifully. So you can see Bitcoin at this point, right? Like Bitcoin dominance was strong. So Bitcoin didn't have retraces like that. Bitcoin just kind of kept grinding higher and higher, whereas like alts actually kind of like had some retracements, but overall structure held, right? Higher high, higher low, again higher high, again higher low, and then pushed up and actually got that there. So that was the hype trade. That's how I tied in USDT. It's how I tied in the Bitcoin chart. It's how I tied in the combo divergences and just the Woodsbot confluence zones in order to take that trade. Yeah, appreciate it, Tails. Like I said, that was a very, very long hold. This point right here, I was like, it was one of the points where I was like, man, I really fucked up by not just taking profits and just trading for another 0.3% at some point. That tested my conviction. Probably the strongest I've had to do in quite a while, because this funded, like I said, was like, I want to challenge myself to pass one in these conditions using just the Woodsbot indicator, the stuff that I preach, the trades, the divergences, the levels. So I was like, oh man, what a terrible example if this actually retraces, and I was 0.3% away. But no, trusted it, played out, happy with it. So any questions you guys have on this trade, just let me know now. Between confluences, between the indexes, between hype itself, between like my mental state, anything at all. Total open floor for you guys to learn, break it down, ask me, whatever. Exactly, Tails. It's more of a swing, and that swing is going to test your conviction multiple times. If you're taking a swing, it's expected to hold for 7, 14, 21 days, a month, right? You're not taking, like a scalp would be like taking this trade here, closing out here, waiting for new triggers, whatever, like a day or two type deal, or at least taking profits, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I understood that this was probably a point of maximum opportunity. And if we lost here, we're going much lower. So I was fine to take an L, even if that meant 2 or 3% on my funded account. I was fine to take that L because my analysis in here and everything was telling me that, like, you know, this is the point where we should reverse, and or we're going much, much lower, and I'll just look for low levels way lower on like a very exaggerated sell-off. But it was more of a swing trade, and that's exactly how you have to play those. Those are going to test your conviction. They're meant to just be left and not have your short-term, day-to-day emotions kind of get in the way of that, and that's exactly how it played out. How are you risking / sizing for funded? Yeah, so before that I had trades. I was just risking like 0.5%. Honestly, on this trade, due to my conviction on the Bitcoin chart, the USD chart, and all of that, I was probably risking like 2.5% by the time I had added off of this secondary sweep. And like I said, I was prepared to cut early if we lost this confluence zone, and also if Bitcoin didn't end up holding this range low. If we look at the hourly chart, you can see that beautiful candle off the sweep, right? Like if this retraced, I was more than comfortable to say like I was wrong. And at the same time too, right, it's an interesting way to look at fundeds depending on your actual bankroll itself and how much you pay for the funded account, right? So to take a 100K funded, it's about 550, and it depends too how you look at that, right? Like if that's, say if you have a $10,000 bankroll, that's about a 5.5% risk as a trade itself to pass that funded. Now it's a longer process to pass the funded and stuff, but essentially you're risking 5.5% of your capital in order to gain potentially 100K in capital, right? So it depends how you look at it too, right? It's like I was comfortable even if I lost my funded account on this trade, given the levels, the combo divergences we had, my analysis, right? Like I was comfortable to say like if this isn't the bottom and I'm wrong, then I'm okay with that. Like I said, we had weekly divs, we had 3-day divs, we had daily divs. So by the time hype swept this second time, I had added a decent amount. And I was comfortable that if we took like a 5% stop, that if I took a 5% stop, that I would lose the funded account, because I understood too that it is only just a percent of my portfolio. I've risked 5% on trades before with high conviction. This is no different, but this has a much higher reward versus risk, because if I pass this, then I unlock a massive amount of capital compared to what I'm trading currently on my 5.5% risk, let's say. So funded accounts, you can really look at these in different lights, right? Like I'm not suggesting you try and pass it in one trade. I would never do this unless I had the highest conviction after my 3 years of trading, knowing how to read indexes, trading Woodsbot indicators and divergences and levels for over 2 years, helping develop all this stuff and being used to it, right? I had very high conviction and I was comfortable risking a decent percent of my funded, given everything I was seeing, right? Checks off like 6-7 different boxes for me to take that trade. So yeah, like fundeds are beautiful because like you can take a 5K or a 10K funded, a 25K funded. It only costs a couple $100. Even if you have a couple $1,000 bankroll and you're looking for higher capital, I don't remember what a 25K funded costs. It's probably like $200-300. You're only looking at a few percent risk of your portfolio to pass that, right? And so you can view it as such. That doesn't mean like you should still trade with much more discipline on a funded, because just like mentally and strategically, that's how you should play it. You know, only risking 0.5%. You should challenge yourself to like treat it differently than your normal portfolio. But that's kind of my mindset and transparency on where I was with that. So say that price did not hold that last retest, would you have closed after you almost passed? Yeah, it's a good question. And like, fucking hell, man. I would have been devastated if this, like, it had to go to like here for me to pass. And I knew it was a Woodsbot level too. And I was like it was very strong. It was like the strongest coin in the market. Like this break of structure here, you know, like I said, the higher low, higher high, I was like, this looks good. If it lost this level here, I probably would have just let it stop me out break even, to be honest, and just been like, fucking take a day or two to like kick myself in the ass and be like, you're an idiot for not closing that. But at the same time, I also knew, like I said, the higher, well, this was the high here, and then a higher low from this one, a higher high. I was like, okay, this level should hold. Doesn't mean I wasn't sweating, stressing, sleeping at night, but yeah, if we lost this level, I would have just let myself get stop break even and just reassess. You know, if we came back in, Bitcoin looked good, we swept, we got a div here, I probably would have just relonged it, because I knew hype was strong. Hype was the strongest coin in the market, and I was willing to like play around it, so it just would have really sucked mentally. You have some conditions to fill after you pass the funded account. For example, minimum % growth per month, etc. No, yeah, so that your second part there, or can you trade as you wish without any pressure? So that's the best part, is like this chop has been fucking terrible to trade around. And the two trades only that I've taken on my funded have just both been Bitcoin shorts. And honestly, I don't typically short an uptrend as much, but like I've had clear triggers every single time. Like this was the first trade here, so we'll just start going from the hype trades where I passed into the Bitcoin trades. And so this was the first trade here. We had like very clear divergences, and I had entered the trade here on Bitcoin as we came into the 4-hour divergence. Just move this over for easier to see. And so again, I'm going to show you guys how I tie in Bitcoin, how I tied in how I tied in USDT, the indexes and stuff to take these trades and even be confident when we pushed higher here and add more to my Bitcoin short. And so, yeah, this was my first trade. It was into this level on Bitcoin here, this 4-hour divergence, this 4-hour resistance. And like I don't typically trade 1-hour and 2-hour divergences, but the market overall was getting, you know, pushed up quite high. We were getting into oversold, overbought territory, and you know, like RSI here on the 4 hours into overbought, right? I had executed trades at the oversold area here, and so when we started pushing into overbought, you know, I was confident to say that like we probably at least get some sort of pullback. And so the initial entry that I had on my funded account was here, and I took this short, and you know, we came down, let's see, like about 1.5%. I really wanted us to lose this level, but we held and we pushed higher. And you know, I was like, okay, not great. I should have taken profits a bit on 1.5%, but I looked at it too. And when we were here, I also called this in the Discord. So if you guys follow, like I call a lot of the stuff inside the Discord, but I mark it enter like kind of quickly when it happens. Let me see. Let me find this one for you guys. So yeah, this was my analysis on this day. I said I was already short on my funded account, like I said, from here. And I said, or no, this was the second one I took. Let me see if I had anything in here. So that second one I took was that. Yeah, so I don't think I had anything. But anyways, I was looking at this, like, again, now we had a 2-hour bearish divergence. And so I had added here because I was confident in the market being so overbought that like if we did push above here, again, I'm fine to take that invalidation. And we had rejected, and we caught like, or I caught like a 3% move down here. I closed like 50% here, another 75% here, and then we pushed back above this level, and I just closed the trade fully. Now this next trade, this is the one that I had called inside of here. And to your point, Vlad, exactly having the higher capital and the ability to, like, currently I'm up about 3.5% on my 100K funded account, and I've only taken 2 trades since having it. And it's great because, you know, with this higher capital, I don't have to trade every day. I can trade my lev port and, you know, scalp and do this and that. But having the higher capital and knowing that, like, okay, if I'm up 3.5% on my 100K, that's 3.5K. I'm in Canada too, that's USDT, it's even more money. It's like I could realistically just take 5 to 6 trades over the entire month and be chilling, making, you know, 10% on my port. So it really gives you the ability to just, You don't have to force anything. I don't care if I don't take a trade on it for a week. If I find an A+ trade where I can make 1, 2, 3%, beautiful. Just keep doing it like that. Eventually the market will trend. Eventually the market will break out. Eventually things will get good. Alts will get fun. And then having the ability to have that capital, but also have maybe a 10 to 20% buffer on my actual capital for my funded at that time, allowing me to try and risk more. Beautiful, right? Like that's kind of the position that having more capital like that allows you to have. So if I go 3 drive, yeah, so this one here, so this was the second Bitcoin trade that I took, this one here. So I had closed this one and we had come here and we pushed into this area again. And I was like, okay, given that Saylor sold, this was this news, and then the market's reaction to it, I was like, I don't think we reject from the same level. Like there's no chance. Like this market reaction off Saylor selling and the market reacting is extremely strong. Again, I'll just move this one here. So my idea was this. I said this was the reaction and we had come to this level, and I was like, I personally think we pop up to here and blow all of these people who were short here and still short given this market reaction. And at the same time, I think that USDT does this and puts in a 3 drive. And so USDT at this time looked like this. It was right around here, and I was like, I think we sweep this low on USDT into this like daily NH4 level and do the 3 drive of bullish divergence on USDT and the 3 drive of bearish divergence on Bitcoin. And that's exactly what happened here. And I market entered when we came up here. I caught a really, really nice entry off that, but it's exactly what I was expecting, right? So it wasn't even luck. I was just waiting for this. Luckily, I wasn't on the charts at the time. My wife said, oh, Bitcoin alert just went off. So I opened my charts. I seen exactly what I wanted happening. I opened up the flow. A shit ton of shorts got blown out. Like a massive amount of OI got blown out. I was like, this is perfect. Again, took a very nice trade here, which I caught like 2.5 or 2% on my funded account. And again, right, into these confluence zones gives you the ability to say that like, okay, even if price comes down like this and then we start closing above, you have early invalidation to be like, okay, this is strong as fuck. We're closing above the levels on H4 or daily or whatever. I can close my trade early. But it played out exactly how I wanted. I market entered here and I was short for a nice move. Now I did want to move down to here, but this market's honestly been strong. And so I closed some here. I closed some when we went here, and then I didn't close the rest till like here. But again, it was a really nice trade. And, you know, it's just, you know, in the last, I don't even know when this one was. This was July 4th. This was July 6th. And then I haven't been in any Bitcoin trade or anything. I haven't really been in a trade since we reclaimed here. It's been kind of like difficult for me to gauge. I'm riding like a hype long right now with Woods, but outside of that, I've just been chilling. And yeah, so if you guys have any questions on the execution of these trades, the levels, my thought process, whatever on these 2 Bitcoin shorts, just let me know. And then I got another trade for you guys too, the WLD. And again, these are all using the same strategy that I got on week after week and have been preaching to you guys, teaching for years. Divergences into the levels over and over and over. It is a repeatable strategy in any market conditions. You just have to like understand the patterns, understand when to execute, and like literally you can get in, day out in this market and just execute the same thing over and over. That's another skill to learn, is being fluid and knowing when you size. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Like, it took me as a trader personally so fucking long to understand the difference in my personal strategy between ranging and trending markets. And I'm talking about how much I risk in a range versus how much I take profits at a 2 or 3% move, and how quickly I move my stops, versus trending, how much I risk, how I take profits at like 10 or 20% moves, how I might not move my stops as quickly, but I'll maybe add to my position. Like, there's 2 different strategies that you should have depending on market conditions, because there are 2 main conditions. There's ranging and there's trending. And you really should have a dynamic set of rules for yourself based on those, because if you try to trade ranging strategy inside of trending, you're going to lose out on so much money. And if you try to trade trending conditions inside of ranging conditions, you are absolutely going to get fucking wrecked by taking stops, by not moving your stops break even, by like not taking profits aggressively enough. And so you really have to kind of dynamically learn between the two. Yeah, no problem, Vlad. Thank you for the question. Risk-free on the account now. No, I haven't taken any profits on it. I'm just kind of stacking that up for the time being. Like the fee for it isn't like the most important thing for me. Even if I had lost it, it's whatever. But like I'll be strategic with it. Like if it ever gets close to break even, like I'll just take it easy, lower the risk and stuff. But no, I plan to run this up for a little while, especially going into like if I can just, you know, what I will do probably when I get to like 5, 6, 7% is take out my initial plus the fee for another 200K one, and then just get that, because just in case anything happened to the one, I'd prefer to have 2 different accounts, and then continually grow those ideally through the summer, being selective with my trades, trading on my lev port otherwise, and then ideally going into like Q4 and stuff, just have a lot more capital through this. All right, so this WLD trade, I love this one. Yeah, exactly. Nice, yeah. I'm an idiot too, man. I didn't do the 90-10 because I was like, all right, first time doing a funded in a while, whatever, I'll just do this. Like, just so stupid. Like, the 100 it wasn't even anything to me. And, like, I regret that decision so much, even though it's 10%. But, like, 10% if you grow that port is a lot. And I'm, like, such an idiot for that. All right, now this trade is fire, and this is a fucking testament to the Woodsbot levels. I want everyone to pay attention to this one. Like, this is just fucking Woodsbot level porn right here. Like, absolute fucking beautiful. So this trade started with my boy Kratos asking me for a few charts. By the way, anyone who ever needs charts, feel free to tag me in the chats. I'm more than happy to like show you my levels, show you where I'd get involved, this and that. Oof, 70-30 is rough, yeah. I definitely want 200K next, though. 200K is fire. So fire. So he had asked me for WLD. Now, this is what WLD looked like when I had given him my analysis. I said, this chart is fucking cooked. This is 4 hours. This is just absolutely scammed up, and this is just the greasiest twap sell ever. Whoever scammed this up is just taking massive profits and dumping the chart relentlessly. Like, look at this H4 RSI. It's just pinned. Like, this is just spot selling twap out disgusting amounts. And so I said, like, WLD honestly to me is an absolutely cooked chart. It scams higher, and now we are just seeing a relentless sell off lower. Yes, we are super oversold, like I said, on the H4, but there aren't any real levels I would look to long until 364 confluence zone, which is here, like I had marked out, and us taking out those lows marked, being these ones here. These extremely sexy looking lows here, this one before the giant impulse up and this one on the hold up, and then the higher low. So the better play is to try and short a retest here if you get a squeeze up, and then also look for that long down at that level. But overall, this chart is cooked, and I would just avoid it personally. So I gave my levels days in advance and said I wouldn't even touch this until it comes to the Woodsbot confluence zone. I didn't create these levels. This is the Woodsbot indicator telling me that these levels are important. Now, what happened? This chart came down exactly, and I want you to pay attention because this chart sold off. This is June 22nd. This chart sold off relentlessly all the way until July 2nd. I can't remember if June has 31 days. It's either 10 or 11 days straight, almost 2 weeks of sell-off completely. Do you know how many people tried to long in this, trying to catch a reversal? I couldn't even put a number on it. Like, after this scam up, I can't even tell you how many people tried to long this shit on the way down that probably got fucking destroyed and liquidated. And I said, I'm not going to touch it until we come into, again, not my levels, the Woodsbot indicator levels. And what did we get? We got a move down into the Woodsbot indicator levels. We had a touch, and this is where I said, all right, I'm going to wait for a 30-minute divergence. The indicator told me and gave me the triggers. We got that divergence here. I entered the trade as per my analysis days ago and caught just about a 25% move. And I was trying to get it into this confluence zone. I had taken good profits all the way up here, but just an absolute fucking master class, not of me. Sure, the execution was great, but the Woodsbot indicator levels telling you where you should pay attention and where you should just fucking not touch a chart until it gets to these levels, right? Like, just absolutely beautiful. And I want to show you guys something else. I didn't execute off this one here, but I was looking at it this morning. The next time we came back down to these levels, you had more beautiful divergences on the 1 hour. Sorry, the 15 minute had a beautiful one right into the same level I had longed earlier, right? You could have even executed this one again at the confluence zone and you could have caught another ridiculous move out of this for like, what the fuck's going on here? Another 15%, like just absolutely beautiful. An 11-day sell-off only reversed once it comes into the Woodsbot confluence zones. Like, it doesn't get any sexier than that when you're looking at the Woodsbot levels. And you know what? The way this looks, we probably push up into this confluence zone eventually, and we probably get a nice rejection. But this is just like a master class on the Woodsbot levels. Like, I was reluctant to take this trade because this was disgusting. This sell-off was nasty. It was like 10, 11 days of just straight absolute fucking pain and brutality for anyone longing this. And I was like, all right, I got the triggers, I got the zone, I have to execute as per, my strategy. Let's see what happens. Expecting just to still get wrecked due to this, and just a fucking beautiful move. Like, just absolutely picture perfect, exactly what you would expect. Oh, you can only have 200K across. Oh, well, I'll just do another 100K then. Appreciate you telling me that, because that would be retarded. Yeah, and like, honestly, Kirby too, like, even like there's levels in between, but like when a chart looks like this, so this is how I trade personally too. Confluent zones are literally like the highest confirmation zones that you could possibly ask for. It is multiple levels combined into one area where this is the volume happening is on daily, 4 hour, 3 day, weekly, monthly, whatever. And like the individual levels, they still work beautifully, but they, on something like this especially, where it's just disgusting, like this is just fully manipulated, this isn't even like organic PA whatsoever. This guy probably ran out of fucking tokens when it came here, and we actually just bounced. Like, whoever was is probably fucking Sam Altman and his team, just like running the chart and nuking it. Whoever's scamming this shit, it doesn't matter. This was not stopping till they're fucking sold out of tokens, and this last big liquidation, taking all this out, finally new liquidity. But like trading something like this, I would just suggest to use the confluence zones. That's when I gave my analysis in here. I didn't even put my regular levels on. I said, these are the confluence zones. I wouldn't touch something that looks like this without a confluence zone, not even a standard typical level. So as you use the levels, as you use the confluence zones, you'll start to build more like, pattern recognition around like when to take trades at each, and, what Bitcoin looks like, what the indexes look like, things like that. Like, you'll start to just build a more understanding that, like, if you're skeptical about a trade, if you're skeptical about a coin, if you're skeptical about a level, then just wait for the confluence zone. If you have good triggers, you have nice oversold, overbought divs into the single level, Bitcoin and ETH are at support, whatever it is, then just you can play the levels and stuff, right? And it's for everyone to interpret on their own, but confluence zones are top of the line, highest conviction areas to take a trade without a doubt. Yeah, exactly, Cheat Talk. That's one of the best things you can do too, is like straight up, if you just want to have even more patience in the market and just wait for your A plus setups, turn it to just confluence zones, right? Like, you can turn your indicator like this. This is the indicator here. I have 4 too, for anyone who's ever wondering. I have 4 because I have normal levels, I have just confluence zones, I have divergences, and then I have Monday range. So I can put any combination of these on, whether I want to look at confluence zones and Monday range or divergences and Monday range. Like I can just turn those on. Just makes it easy. They're not all different. They're all just the same indicator. One of these does all of that. I just have it set up easily. But you can go in and you can turn on all levels like this. Sorry, let me go to 4 hour. So you can have confluence zones and the 4 hour levels and higher time frame levels, or you can go just confluence zones only. So it'll take out the singular levels and just show you the double levels or the triple levels, the confluence zones as they're called. And this is a really great way to only take trades around like the highest of conviction areas for yourself. But what I suggest is have one for all the levels and then have one just for confluence zones, so you can kind of easily toggle between the two. Yeah, catch you later, Tails. Appreciate you coming on, man. Have a good weekend. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you coming through as well. All right, guys. So like those are some of the trades I wanted to show you guys. It's kind of how I tie in USDT, Bitcoin. It's how I just use the levels and the divergences exactly the way that I preach to you guys day in, day out through all these streams, through all the YouTube, through all the education I've made. So now I just want to open the floor fully. If you guys want me to check out any charts or trades you guys took, if you have any questions on the bots, the indicator, Woodsbot in general, trading, psychology, emotions, anything at all, just total open floor for you guys. And no question is a stupid question as well. Like the only reason I got to where I was is because I hounded Woods at the start in Wealth Group with questions. Me and Dow both. We'd message Woods and DM him and be like, yo, we want to learn from you directly. Can you teach us? Like we're ready, we're hungry. Like, you know, it's how I got to where I am. It's like, there's a saying that I love. I forget exactly what it says, but it's like closed mouths don't get fed. And it's like, ask these questions. Like I'm taking this time for you guys. I want any and all questions that you guys have. Yeah, so limit order bot, I do use it. Yeah, so I haven't taken as many trades lately from it, but I do use it as confluence, right? So it's like, for instance, like I know not everybody has access to it, but I'll just give you some alpha right now. So like the limit bot, like I was giving some analysis in here. So basically the limit bot, for those that don't know, is the AI trading bot. It's been developed. It's been working through the markets now for over 2 years in parabolic uptrends, the nastiest, greasiest down rips like 10-10 and all these things. It's been through CHOP. It's been through Trump inauguration. It's been through everything. Like this bot has learned and grown as an AI day in, day out for years. Like we're so far ahead of anyone who's trying to make these AI bots and just spin them up with Claude now. And so this bot I use as a really good way to help me gauge the market. So earlier today, the Bitcoin long that the bot had at 62.6 down here, it had a long down here, 62.6 right here. Now, let me just remove this. So 62.6, the bot had a long here and it canceled that long and moved its long up to 63.5, which is here. A sweep of these lows. After this current move, it canceled its long lower and moved its long up to here. Now I can, as a trader, understand this is a good level. We sweep this liquidity. I would personally look for longs if we get this, right? And I'll use the AI bot as confluence. Now, I haven't been taking too many of the AI bot trades lately, but we just did a massive update on it, and it's absolutely fucking killing trades. And so when you have access to it, you can take those trades. You can use it as confluence for your levels or confluence on the market overall. There's a lot of ways to use it, and it is extremely advanced and intelligent in terms of the calls and levels that it gives. And so it just adds an extra layer of bias, an extra layer of levels that you can use, and all of these things. How do you deal with the long and short calls? Because of the BTC long fills, should I close my bot shorts? Honestly, I think you just need to develop a strategy around the AI bot. So it's like, if there's long and shorts, typically, let's say you're in shorts and then the longs fill, I would just take profits off those shorts, not fully, and just move your stops. Whatever, if, depending on the level in your own analysis of the market, take 30 to 50% off those shorts, move your stops, break even, position into longs. So if you get short from up here and let's say a sweep, like there's nothing wrong with doing this, and then now you're long, and it's like market bias, right? Like we're trending up overall. Like this is strong, like we held this low, right? Even though we came to retest it, we put in a higher low, and like say we make a higher high here, come in, put a higher low here, or even down here, wherever. But basically get filled on shorts here, just take some profits here, because like you're counter trading the trend in shorts currently. And then, you know, if we end up breaking lower, whatever, you're still in the shorts, so you're hedged. And then if we go long and your shorts get stopped out, whatever, you took some profits and now you're long for the move up. So just try and like always trust the bot. I think it has to have a different strategy than your own personal. Like you can bring your personal bias into it, but the AI bot has its own method of doing things and its own history and hit rate and everything. And it's just like, just develop a strategy around that where you don't put your like personal bias and your thoughts. And I'd say best thing to do is just have a separate account. Put 1,000, put 100, put 5K, whatever into a separate account, trade the AI bot, and just do what it does and develop a strategy where 2-3% move, you take some profit off, move stops. Whatever happens, you know over time that, you know, that account's going to go up without injecting your personal bias. Trade your own account with your personal bias and try to separate the two if possible. Yeah, exactly, Cheat Talk. And I know Cheat Talk's probably one of the guys who's been trading the AI bot the most out of anyone in this Discord consistently. Honestly, it's like I remember when this thing first came out, Cheat Talk was all on it. He was killing it, and I still see him taking the trades probably the most consistently out of anyone for the longest period of time that I've seen. And so, yeah, I mean, what I really want to do, and I keep saying it, but I'm going to make a schedule probably like going into the end of this month and next month, is like I want to get a few of you guys on just to talk about the different aspects of your experience with Woodsbot. And I know everyone in here would love that, right? Like Kirby, I've seen you come up from, you know, being in my DMs consistently when you started asking questions, and that's fine. Like I love it. I love teaching you guys. That's what I'm here for. But I'm saying like over the year, man, I've seen you develop yourself into an independent trader so much by being curious, asking questions, trying so many strategies. Same with Mello. Mello's got a different aspect. He uses a lot of AI bots and journaling and things, and that's fucking sick. We've got Cheat Talk, man. Cheat Talk, I know he has a family. He's busy. He uses the AI bot a lot and stuff, and he trades personal, and he trades a different way. He kind of holds things longer. Like I want to, and Tails as well. We got G2K. It's like I want to get all these kind of different people and aspects of how you guys trade Woodsbot and your experiences with it, and just get you guys up on like round open house streams where it's like, you know, we just talk through it, right? It's like I can just ask you questions about your experience, how you use it, just total just like bullshitting what's going on, like your experience, ups, downs, all that. I think it would be so valuable for everybody, even myself, right? Like I love seeing how everybody uses the Woodsbot trading view indicator, the bots themselves separately with their own strategies and their own mental frameworks and stuff. Like that shit's so interesting to me. So I definitely want to set something like that up in the future. About Sol, it is at the bottom of the previous range, so basically it's a good position to long. Yeah, Sol's been one I've been watching, like down here. Like this confluence zone here, I think if we sweep the low again, is just an absolute beautiful long. Like I think if we get this, you have like we could end up just like flipping this level, but like if you were to get this and you get like a nice reaction and we like can break out, like you can at least target here. And I think like that's a really nice move, even if we just end up ranging in this, you know, area for a bit. But yeah, Sol overall looks good. Like even if we just hold this, Like if we just hold this trend and continue pushing up, like it looks good. Either way, I think it's going back to at least 81. Flip that level, we'll see. But yeah, I would look for like 76.1 is really nice. We might even get like, if we don't just look at confluence zones, like you probably have a no level in there, but even a sweep down into here kind of thing for just a higher low. Would look good too. So anywhere sold like 77 to 75 I think is really good, and then gives you very clear invalidation, because if we do start closing below here, like, you know, that's ugly. That's, you know, we've lost this and we're gonna kind of go back into like probably this range here. So I really do like a retest anywhere in between like 77 to 75 for longs on SOL, and we might even just hold here depending on the market. But yeah, it's kind of my outlook on SOL. If you guys have other coins too you want me to look at, you can let me know. Take a look. Let me know if that answers your question. Deep damage. Yeah, the confluence zone there is really nice. Like I like that a lot. I've been waiting for that one. Like I got alerts here, but price doesn't want to go down there so far. ZEC for sure. Yeah, ZEC's really strong, and it has been. Yeah, so we're pressing on this yearly open again, right? So honestly, we've rejected it once, twice. So like, I think if we flip this, which I don't really use as like a level to like execute trades, but so like my trading, I'd probably just look for a short here next. Like what I would do is I'd look for a short here, or I'd look for us to reject again on the market and then get long here for a move up to there. Now if we look at just normal levels, yeah, you also have like H4 here. So even with the confluence zones, you kind of have this level here. This level here is going to govern basically what happens next, right? If we do flip this in the H4, like you could look for a move up to here, which is still a very nice move. Ideally, what I would want to see and what I'll look for is like a rejection from here. And then if we do end up coming back down here, I just have my alerts, and if we end up getting divs here, I'll execute that trade for a move up to there. That would be ideal. So if Bitcoin ends up going, you know, like I said, we've got this range high, we've got Monday high here. If we end up not flipping this, right, and this goes all the way back to the very start of the stream, right? It's like this is the range high. If we end up doing this and we come down to 60 whatever to get the limit for the AI bot, that could end up lining up with a rejection on ZEC, depending. Like ZEC might honestly only go to like here, just given how strong it is. But if we get a rejection into here, I got my alert set, I would look for a long there. I'm not really, personally, I haven't really played like reclaims and stuff for quite some time. I just honestly would rather even wait for up here with the sweep. So it's like I'm not too bothered, right? If like price doesn't go here for a while, I'll just wait. I know as soon as I get one of these alerts, these are really good zones for me to execute at, and I'll just wait. I just won't even do much in the middle. But yeah, any other charts you guys have, definitely let me know and take a look. This was my analysis earlier. It's like, I think that like we've pressed on this level on total like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times now. Rejections are getting shallower. It's like, I think eventually we're going to flip this weekend and also kind of rally up to here. If we look at BTC dominance, it's like we've been rallying. We kind of broke out on dominance and like flip this level and are retesting it. I would love to see dominance like lose this level and come down to here in line with kind of this rallying up here. I think that would be nice. We are seeing continued ETH strength over BTC, which like as an overall market indicator isn't the greatest, but we are seeing a rotation while Bitcoin kind of does consolidate at range highs, which is also okay. Like if we do just consolidate kind of in this area while alts and ETH rally and then Bitcoin actually breaks all range highs, like that looks fucking phenomenal. Like if the AI limit order fills, we just chop around here all weekend, fills maybe Sunday or something, and ETH kind of like, you know, presses up into here and comes down, and then we keep rallying, like market will look really, really good, and I think alts will rally. And then tied in with USDT is like, you know, I think we probably get a reaction here. I don't know if we go to here or if we just go to here, but that probably ties in with ETH doing this. So yeah, like again, you know, we are just at resistance, so kind of warrants just a bit of patience, especially on a weekend. Like you don't want to press too hard. Yeah, divs 1 hour minimum, OBOS only at Confluence. Honestly, I think if you wanted the highest hit rate trading strategy using the Woodsbot indicator, that's exactly what you would do. I think personally I would do like 30-minute divergences at the Confluence zones and overbought, oversold. And I mean, that's how I trade on a daily basis. And those are my A+ setups. Sometimes I'll just take trades that aren't that due to whatever other confluences or triggers, but like overbought, oversold on the 30-minute or the 1 hour or even 15-minute into Confluence zone is like such fucking bread and butter, man. Like just a beautiful strategy. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that in the Discord, She Talk. That'd be great. Yeah, I like that. All right, guys, if anyone else has any questions, like I said, anything, psychology, emotions, charts you want me to look at, Woodsbot indicator, bots, anything at all, just let me know. It's been a good stream so far. Arrow, let's see. Yeah, it's under, like currently under big resistance here after losing structure. Like we had bullish structure up to here and then we lost it, retested it, still a lower high, or sorry, a lower low, like structure wise, right? Like your low, lower high, lower low. So if we do reject here, like you could expect lower, but if we do flip this level, you start to see a change of structure again now on the H4. And so you could look to position at this level for like a move higher. So this is kind of the key level here right now for it. If you look like 30-minute. Like on lower time frames, I'd say you have like this supply here. It's like if you can start to close 30 minutes above on lower time frame, right? Like you can see we rejected it once. Depending what happens here, maybe you get like this kind of trending up, but this will be the level here on lower time frames to flip, because you can see this was the level, the area of supply that led to the breakdown and break of structure here. So this will be, you know, the most important area for sellers to defend, and this will be where like structure flips there on low time frames. So yeah, I would watch that. And you can see too, this is just a 30-minute supply, but you can just see like how critical the level is, even if you pull it across more. It's one of the most useful things too, right? Like this is something I do a lot of the time, just personally trading. Like this is just a 30-minute supply zone, but what I'll do is just like extend it and just look at where it goes across the whole chart, because it'll give you like, right, you can pull it all the way back to here and see, right? Like it's just such a critical level. And like a lot of the times people will just like with supply or demand, they'll just pull it directly over from here. But I like to like extend it across the whole chart as the level, whatever it is, and just you can see like how pivotal it is a lot of the times, and it'll give you more confluence and like, you know, confidence in your bias that if we do flip this level, not only do we like change structure on the 4 hour, but like we're flipping this low time frame supply that like has been a very key level for a while. All right, guys, if anyone has any other questions, let me know now. Otherwise, it's been a good stream. We'll wrap it up pretty soon. Yeah, high time frame, I think it probably does too. Yeah, 100%. Like if you look. Yeah, like this looks really good on like high time frame, like weekly type shit. You know, if we actually start to flip this level, like that looks good. Even daily. You can see we tried to flip it higher low, and now we're like actually trying to flip this level, holding above on the daily, like a lot of levels above, but yeah, interesting for sure. Yeah, appreciate it, Kirby. Appreciate you coming through as always, asking questions, supporting and stuff. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Everybody here, like, taking time out of your Saturdays to grind during a bear market and shit. I'm telling you guys right now, you guys are the ones who are going to make it in the end. You guys are the ones putting in the work, not coming back when the market's good, but grinding your fucking teeth in the worst of market conditions, learning discipline, patience, how to trade with confluences, how to trade with the right triggers, how to like battle your own emotional states and mentality and psychology. You guys are the ones who are going to prosper when the market turns around. So appreciate you guys coming through, asking questions as always, taking time out of your Saturdays. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. And yeah, let's keep killing shit, guys. Let's keep killing it next week. We got a lot of streams continuously giving you guys this. So again, appreciate all of the support for the community in the chats and the comments and the everything. So have a good weekend, guys, and I will talk to you guys soon.